In your bio on Instagram, you have R.I.P. Rio and Chris. Who were they to you?
My big cousins who raised me, Mario, also known as Slim Dunkin, and Chris, also known as C Murder.
And in what ways did they raise you?
Babysitting me, you know what I'm saying? When I was little, they babysat me, whether I was over my auntie house or whether it was at my house. They babysat me, you know what I mean? Took good care of me.
What ages were you when they were doing this?
Oh man, a baby. You know what I mean? I had to be like, probably like, before 1 year old to maybe up to like 2, in that range.
Now, these cousins, were they on your mother's side or father's side?
Father's side, yeah.
And the aunt you're speaking of was on your father's side as well?
Yeah, yeah, both my aunts was on my father's side.
And were these two the most impactful deaths in your life you've experienced so far?
Oh yeah, definitely. Them was definitely some of our strongest soldiers that we could have lost out the family, for sure.
Now, how did each person die?
Both gunshots. Rio, also known as Slim Dunkin, y'all might know, he got killed here in Atlanta over some crazy nonsense, man, over some BS. You know what I mean? I don't really want to speak too much on it, but I mean, it was just really some BS at a studio. I think a video shoot was going on, and they got in a confrontation, and it went left. And, you know what I'm saying? Somewhere or another, it ain't end right. You know what I mean? And then they didn't get him to the hospital in time. And then with Chris, it was at a nightclub. I think they called it Ice at the time in the D. I think it was called like Ice Nightclub. They changed the name of it after that because more than him got killed. A lot of people got killed or something. But somebody came in there shooting in Detroit, and the bullet just happened to hit him. I don't even think they was coming to kill Chris. It just was like a situation where they just came in there raining them bullets, and he just happened to get hit, and he didn't make it through.
What age were you when each of these passed in your life?
So when Chris passed, that was 2011. So I was about, no. When Dunk passed, it was 2011. So I was like, who was I? Maybe, I was like 17. Yep. And then when Chris passed, it was 2000 and either 10 or 9. And I believe I was like, 16 or 15.
And for time reference, go ahead.
What you mean?
Oh, I thought you were finishing something up, and I had.
Okay, no, it was like it was basically like a 2-year span.
And for time reference, it's April 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you remember the last time you spoke to either of them before they passed? And just for the record, before I asked you that question, you weren't present at each of their deaths.
Mm-mm. No, I was in Miami when Dunk passed, and then I think I was in Miami when Chris passed too. It was all like I say, that 2-year span was just crazy, man, because we lost Chris, and Dunk was like, what the hell? Like, he couldn't believe it. He couldn't believe it. And then next thing you know, about 1.5 years, 2 years later, he passed. So it was just crazy. It was a wild time.
Do you remember the last time you spoke to each of them before they passed?
Oh yeah, definitely. Dunk, we was working on the project. Well, I told him that, and I told my brother, You know what I'm saying? We was keeping in contact with him, just letting him know, you know what I mean, as far as my music. Cause he knew I've been serious with the music since I was young, so he knew we was working on something, a project that eventually I got you on, DJ Smallz. And then with Chris, I talked to him all the time as well, anytime I was home. So I talked to them both. As far as before they passed, I probably talked to Chris maybe a couple months before he passed, and then Dunk maybe like a month before he passed. So I kept in touch with him pretty frequently, for sure.
And what was the name of the project?
The name of the project was I'm So Major 2. It was the second part of my first project, which was called I'm So Major, that I started when I was in Miami. Man, I was young, I was like 16, but when I first got to Miami, I started this mixtape series called I'm So Major. So, and it did pretty well. I had a couple singles on the radio, it did pretty well, so I thought that we would give him the I'm So Major too.
So he was aware of this project?
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely. Yep.
He was aware I was hosting it as well?
Yep. Yeah, it was already in the process, man. It was already kind of in the process, and I think he was on tour with Walk at the time. I think they had the Twin Towers 2 project going on. So it was kind of going crazy, but he was like, man, he just wanted to talk his stuff on it, and you know what I mean? So he was just like, man, send it to him, and you know what I'm saying? But he definitely supported, man. Anything that I had to do, he was definitely supportive. He wanted to be a part of it.
Now, forgive my personal memory here, but when that project ends up getting completed, it was after he had passed away.
Right. Yep. Yeah, we didn't complete it till he passed. Yep.
How long after he passes does the project get completed?
About 4 years after that. Cause I had just started working on the music around that time. And then once he passed, I took like 2 years, bro. I took like 2 years off. I ain't put out nothing. Those 2 years I didn't put out nothing cause that was like a, you know what I mean, it was a big heartbreak for the fam. So I took out like 2 years, and then we got back on it around like 2013. That's when I started putting some more music out, working on some new music, and you know, from there, that couple years after that, you know what I mean, we got the project together.
And again, forgive my memory, was it just him hosting the project with his voice, or were there Slim Dunkin features on that project?
It was him hosting his voice, but it was supposed to be him featured on songs. You know what I'm saying? Like we was supposed to do at least, it was definitely supposed to be, we were in communication of him doing we were gonna do some music, you know what I mean? But when he passed, we just had to do what we had to do, you know what I'm saying, to make sure we do it right for him.
Was there any thought on continuing that project but not using his voice on it?
No, never that. Never that, cause nah, Dunk had to be on there, point blank. It wouldn't be right, you know what I'm saying? Cause we was already in the talks of it. It wouldn't be right to just continue it without him being on it. You know what I mean? Especially when we already, you know, he already gave a go on it, and we was already in the talks of it. Nah, we can't rock like that. That's big cuz.
What were other family members' thoughts on it before the project was released? Were they okay with it? Did they know that this was still gonna go on with his voice, or?
Oh yeah, for sure. They loved it, man. Like regardless, from the beginning to the end, you know, beforehand when we was gonna do it, and you know, after they heard the final product, they still loved it just as much.
Was there any conversation with other family members on whether you should continue using his voice on the project or not? Was there any?
No,
Okay.
I mean, no, I mean, it was just, we had the drops already, you know what I'm saying? We had what we had, so we did what we did. And I think they appreciated it more, the fact that we made sure we, you know what I'm saying, we kept it moving and made it happen.
Now, you did speak to each of them before they passed. I think you said a month prior to Slim. And how long was it again for Chris?
And Chris, it was like a couple months, maybe.
They were positive conversations.
Yeah, for sure. Cause Chris was still working with my pops, and I used to come for the summer or whenever I used to come to the city. You know what I mean? And I used to help Pops out. You know what I mean? He had his own business, this and that. Chris was still working with him, so that's how we used to keep in touch as well. So.
Did Chris do music himself?
No, Chris ain't do music, but he did run with a well-known group in the D called Made West. And so that's the clique he ran with.
What was his role?
His role was just putting on. You know what I'm saying? Putting on for the hood, Joy Road. He just was, you know what I'm saying, putting on and supporting his homie.
When it came to Slim Dunkin, who did music first? Was it him or you?
It was me. Yeah, Dunk ain't get into music till he came down here to the A and met Flock, and they started doing their thing.
Was that ever a discussion of? Did you know Did you know of his music ambition at all? Was that a surprise to you when he did it? Was that ever discussed musically? Was it music ever discussed between you two in that capacity before he got in it?
It was a surprise. I ain't gonna lie. I remember the first time he came back to the city and was told me and my brother. By that time we was in the burbs and trying to get out the way and everything, but he had came to the A. This was after this when they had their first single, him, Woo the Kid. I just know it was him and Woo the Kid on that track. It was a couple other people, but it was called. They had a song called "Take Off." They had a single, and he came back and he was like, "Man, we got a single, blah blah blah." He was like, "Y'all think I should rap? Should I rap?" You know what I'm saying? Waka, blah blah blah. They telling me I should rap, blah blah blah. And we're like, hell yeah, go ahead, do it. You know what I'm saying? Because it ran in the blood, you know what I mean? So we're like, hell yeah, go ahead, give it, you know what I'm saying? Give it a try. Do what you do you. You know what I mean? So he just asked us basically for the support, and hell yeah, we gave him the support. We're like, hell yeah, keep it, you know what I'm saying? Do what you got to do. And he had just started rapping at that time, so he was kind of like just bringing it to us, like trying to see if we was rocking with it. And hell yeah, we was rocking with it. Yeah, it was like him and Woo the Kid, and I don't know if Frenchie and them was on that song or not, but I know him and Woo the Kid was on that song for sure, and they was doing their thing with it. So, and it sounded good, so we was like, yeah, bro, hell yeah, go ahead, rap, do your thing, you know what I mean?
Did it ever get competitive between you two?
No, never that. No, we definitely me and Dunk probably like the most team players, you know what I'm saying, out the fam. Like we want to put the fam on.
Did you collaborate with him at any given point while he was alive?
No, that was what we were supposed to do with the I'm So Major too. You know what I'm saying? Me, him, Derez, a lot of people in the squad at that time, man. It was. We had a lot of features in rotation, a lot of shit in rotation. So once he passed, that kind of put a pause on everybody. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we are still on our grind.
Had there been music sent out to either of you, for instance, maybe you to him on songs you wanted him on, and they just never got completed, or it never got that far?
Yeah. I had a couple like singles that I had at the time that he was supposed to remix, and then a couple joints he had, we was in talks of trying to put something together, man. I mean, it was mainly that though, like, you know, cause at the time, when he was with Walker and Gucci and them, they was starting to buzz up quick. Like I say, when him and Wu and he first brung that, brung what he had going on back to the D at that time, that was just the beginning. That was before 010. That was like 2000, maybe 5, 6. I was super young. So by 2010, 2000, by that time, oh yeah, they was buzzing. They was going crazy. You know what I'm saying? Walker had the "Oh, let's do it," and he was ready to go. So when I brought the project to his attention, me and my brother, and we all conversated about it and was in the mix about it, and he gave me the go. That's what it was about, like getting him on whatever I had popping, whatever singles I had that was popping, that was, doing good. It was about getting him on it, and then we shooting some visuals and going from there.
How were you notified of Slim and Chris's passing? Can you take us back to each of those moments?
So they both was phone calls, man, family calls. I got a couple calls about Dunk from the family, and then same thing from Chris. I mean, it was just family calls, like they got shot. Pray. So I prayed, and literally both of them wasn't long. You know what I'm saying? It was like within an hour. They they passed. They gone. And it just fucked my whole days up, man.
Did you get a chance to attend either of their funerals?
Oh yeah, for sure. I was at both of them. You know that. I mean, they raised me, man. I had to be there, and I know, and then that, when things happen like that, man, they make you think about a lot of things, like, that make you kind of want to stop doing what you're doing. But I know for a fact that they definitely wanted me to keep going, for sure. I know that for a major fact.
When it came to Slim Dunkin's funeral, who showed up?
Shit, the whole south side of Atlanta, the whole Clayton County. Shit, they was out there. And then, of course, us, the whole family from the west side of the D, and then Clayton County as well, because, he from the D, but he definitely was raised down here. He had a lot of people on his side down here that respected him, you know what I mean?
Some people don't attend funerals, some people stop.
Mm-hmm.
Have you stopped going to funerals yourself, or what's your stance on that?
No, I mean, I still attend them, you know what I mean? Because I look at it as a celebration. I mean, it's a sad thing, but at the same time, you got to celebrate, man. Like, you got to keep the good vibes, the good energy going, because that's what they would want you to do.
How did you cope with each of their deaths since?
I really don't know, man, because, of course, I broke down for both of their deaths. Not right away. I remember when I got the call about Dunk. Same thing with Chris. I didn't break down for neither one of them right away. It was pretty much when I went to the funerals where it got to me. Once I was in the funeral, and that's when it got to me. You know what I mean? I had my Ray-Bans on, and that's when it got to me, for sure.
What did each of their deaths teach you? What did you learn from any of this stuff? If anything.
If I learn anything, man, it would be just to stay out the way. Stay out the way, man. we big on that, especially in the D. We got this phrase called stack, pray, stay out the way.
And what does that mean, stay out of the way?
Stay out the way means just like, man, treat people how, you know what I'm saying, you want to be treated, you know what I mean, and do what you got to do. Don't get in nobody else's way, you know what I'm saying. Anybody, you never know what somebody else going through, you know what I mean, so just do what you got to do and get out them people way, and then you won't have to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? If you just mind your own business, and you'll be good.
Do you think each of their deaths could have been prevented?
No, I mean, I think everything happened for a reason. I mean, them my two biggest angels. And I know they done kept me out of a lot of things, man. I mean, it's a lot of incidents that could have probably occurred, but they definitely helped keep my mind right and give me protection. I think them the two biggest angels that I can ever ask for.
Chris was shot in a nightclub. Let me rephrase. Mario, aka Slim Dunkin, was shot on a music video shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Because you do attend both of those type of functions, does that worry you at all?
No, it don't worry me. Cause I mean, like I say, I mean, I just really just go with the flow, and I mean, if it's a music video shoot, I'm just there to do, you know what I mean, my job. I mean, at the end of the day, you can't stop what other people got planned or what might happen. You just, like I say, you could just try to do your best and stay out the way.
Now, sometimes when a person experiences a death, especially when it comes to a violent death, shooting, that sort of nature there, it could leave one cold, negative, turn them into a savage. Mm-hmm. In another sense, it can turn somebody to be strong, positive, motivated. How did each of these deaths leave you?
It just made me, at first, you know what I mean, at a young age, I thought of it like that, you know what I mean, just being cold and wild and not giving a fuck, really. But as you get older, man, you realize life is precious, you know what I mean, and that you want to appreciate it, so. And that they will want you to do the same, man. At the end of the day, shit, every time I sing, like, and that's another thing about them, like, with Chris and Dunk, like, they always had a smile on their face. Like, them the only people I know besides me that always got a smile on their face. Like, they would say the same thing when they see me, like, you know what I'm saying? So, man, you gotta appreciate life, you know what I mean? You can't regret nothing, you know what I'm saying? You just gotta do what you gotta do and keep it moving.
What do you miss the most about either of them?
What I miss the most? Just seeing them, being able to spend time with them, chop it up with them. You know, just to feel that love. At the end of the day, that's my family, that's my blood, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, you do want to see your family. You know, you don't want to go years and years without being able to see them, talk to them, spend time with them, kick it with them. You know, so especially because I was young, and now that I'm older, I know that we could have kicked it a lot.
Do you have a favorite memory of either of them you could share with us today?
With Chris, it'll probably just be mainly working with him, because that was the most time I got to spend with him. Like, just with my pops. You know what I'm saying? Us being able to work together. And that was really before I had like any real job. You know what I'm saying? Us just getting a chance to spend time with each other, and then see him at my grandma's house too. You know, now I can't see him at all at my grandma's house. But then with Rio, same thing. Coming to the D, coming to the A. He not being there. I mean, shit, you can't say nothing to him. You can't see him. You know what I mean? It's a big factor.
Did it change the direction of your music at all after he passed?
Yeah, I mean, now,
And I'm referring to Slim.
Right. So with Dunk, I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, at that time, yeah, my music was way more negative, probably. So nowadays, I'm more on the positive side of the music, man. And just the way I carry myself, just everything. Yeah, I try to be as positive as I can, man, because I realize we role models. A lot of people look up to us and respect us for what we do. So I think it's only right we show that love and that respect back and lead people in the right direction and not down the same path that we done went through or that we done went down, you know what I mean?
Aside from the I'm So Major 2 project, have you mentioned Slim, Dunkin, a.k.a. Rio, a.k.a. Mario, or Chris in your music?
Yeah, man, all the time. I'll either say Rio and Chris, or I'll drop a release on the days that they pass or their birthday. I try to definitely do something to keep their names alive, yeah.
Have you made a song about either of them?
Yeah. The main one was probably on I'm So Major 2. I had a song called Never Forget. And then that was mainly about them. I'll probably make another one too, you know, one day.
Was that song, Never Forget, was that a spontaneous song you created, or was that premeditated? So for example, did you hear the beat and just so happened to get in that vibe to create that type of song, or was that premeditated in the sense that you wanted to make a song about each of them? You knew this was something you were going to do.
Right, yeah, that was premeditated, that song right there.
Was it emotional creating or recording that song?
Man, hell yeah, man. That whole project, you know what I'm saying, I shed some tears. From that song to that whole project, and like I say, I'm probably gonna do another song, because they're always on my mind.
When you did shed tears, was it on the creative side of things, or was it the actual recording of any of the music?
The actual recording. They ain't even got nothing to do with the, you know, creating the music, you know what I'm saying? I mean, creating is a big part, but that got to do more with the emotional side.
Do you record these emotions? So for example, do you capture the vocal cracks, the tears maybe coming down in the actual song?
No, I haven't recorded the actual emotions, no.
Did it ever become a point where it's too much to finish or even release?
Yeah, it was one song, damn. I think I called it In the Sky. I let a couple other people hear it. They was like, man, you gotta drop that. It was about them too, but I just never released it. It was a real dope song. I might still release it. It's just sitting in the vault.
Why didn't it ever see the light of day?
I think just depending on what project I'm working on, you know what I mean? I might just drop it as a single though, if anything, because I think it need to be heard one day.
The song Never Forget, that is public, that is still able to be streamed. How long after Slim Dunkin passes do you create that song in particular? Chris died previous to
that
Slim,
was 2013. So that was like, so when he passed, so when they passed 2010, 2011, that was when I took a break from music and then I got back on it, 2013. That was like one of the first songs I did. And then even though it didn't come on the project till 2015, it was still one of the early songs that I had to lay.
How do you know the right time to create a song of that nature?
I mean, it's just all based on how you feeling at that time. Whatever your emotions is, whatever you in the zone to do, however you feel at that moment.
Is it ever too early or too late to create a song of that nature?
I don't think neither, man. Like, to me, I don't think it's never too early or too late. I think it's whenever you really feel it. In your heart, in your intuition, your gut.
Was there a music video ever created for that song?
No, it wasn't no music video. It wasn't a single, so we didn't do the video. I usually just do the videos for my singles, so that's the only reason why.
Now, Chris did not do music, but did he have a song he enjoyed of yours in particular by any chance?
He liked all of it. He ain't had nothing specific. He liked any single that I put out. Like, whatever the single was, that's what he was rocking with.
What about Slim? Did he have a song he enjoyed of yours in particular by any chance or no?
Yeah, at the time, I had a single called Stuck Up. That's what he was rocking with, the Stuck Up single.
What do you think either of them would think of your career and where you're at now?
I think they'd be proud, man. I came a long way from, you know, from that time, from being 16 to, it was a long way from being 16 to my age now. You know, I did tours, just a lot, man. Just a lot of life experiences as well. That whole process was that was the beginning of my journey. You know what I mean? So I think they'd be proud of how far I came. You know what I mean? I done made a lot of accomplishments since that point in time.
Care to share your age now?
Yeah, I'm 27 now.
You think they would be surprised about where you are in your career at this point? Or just proud?
I think they'd be proud, because they always looked at me as a star and considered me to be a superstar one day. So I think they'd be proud. I don't think they'd be surprised at all. Dunk used to, cause Dunk was the other rapper. Like Chris already knew what was going on. I mean Dunk did too. They all knew, but Dunk used to ask me, could he, like, for my whole wardrobe, my chain, everything. Like, nigga, you know what I'm saying? Like, you a star. Like, I never seen, you know what I'm saying? Like, just my whole image and the way I carry myself and, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that. He always looked at me like a star, both of them.
Whoever did this to Chris, were they ever apprehended?
I really don't know, but I don't think so. I don't think so. Not that I know of.
And with Slim
Because
Dunk,
it was like a random thing that just occurred.
and with Slim Dunkin, there was an apprehension and there was a conviction.
Mm-hmm.